I am going to take a guess that you are here because you want to upgrade your life. I get it. You're tired of feeling stuck, knowing that deep down you are meant for so much more. But let's be real. The actions you are taking right now are probably not in alignment with the person you see your future self being, or the person you visualize in your mind that you have this some sort of delulu that one day you're just gonna wake up and you're gonna be that person. Because don't worry, same here, girl. You know, we have this fake image that we think that it's just gonna happen one day, but then one day you wake up and you realize, oh shit, I have to become that person. Well, this is the video for you, because it starts with the small things. Anytime you want to achieve something big, you have to start with the small. And that is what we are going to do today. So don't worry, it is never too late to change. That is why today I am going to be sharing micro habits that have changed my life, and I think that can provide you value to becoming the better version of yourself that will get you closer to the future version of yourself that you fantasize about all day, or the girl that you see in your Pinterest board and you think, I can never be her. But queen, you can, because we are limitless, and it all starts with your actions and changing your identity with yourself. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is a micro habit? And according to James Clear from the famous book Atomic Habits, a micro habit is a small achievable action that gets you closer to a larger habit that you want to form over time. You want to think tiny, manageable behaviors that require minimal effort or friction that can be consistently performed over time. So basically, you just want to start as small as possible. So small that it's like laughable how easy it is. And if you read the book Atomic Habits, then you know about the 2-minute rule. And basically the 2-minute rule is when you start something, it has to be so simple and so easy that it only takes 2 minutes of your time. For example, if you want to start being a person who goes to the gym every day, you have to set such small expectations for yourself so you can build that credibility with yourself to the identity that you're trying to form into, right? So it would be something like this. You say, okay, today I have to go to the gym for at least 2 minutes, and that's it. Like, set a timer on your phone and go for 2 minutes, and then you can leave. And over time, you will, as you do that every day, you'll be there for 2 minutes and you're like, well, I might as well here, so might as well stay a little bit longer, you know? So that's kind of how the 2-minute rule works, and that's kind of how the micro habits form. And that's what I want you to take into this on the habits and advice that I give you. If you're not really resonating with the stuff that I'm giving you and saying like, girl, what you think I'm going to be doing this and that, like off the bat, start with the 2-minute rule. Okay, so now let's get into the 10 micro habits that will change your life. So this goes into my first habit I have for you, which is start small. Just start somewhere. And I mean super small, kind of just what I touched on from Atomic Habits. It's about just starting. Start with the 2-minute rule on anything you want to start. Put a timer on for 2 minutes and do the thing and end the timer, and then you could go on with the rest of the day. But the whole psychology behind it is you're going to want to, over time, just do more and more and more until you get into the habit of doing it. It's the consistency we're building here. Even the days you don't want to do something, for example, you don't want to go to the gym. The last thing you want to do is go to the gym, but you have to keep the discipline, because discipline, small steps, is the seed to discipline and consistency. That's why micro habits are so fundamental for becoming the person you want to become. Because if you are going to form any new identity or become any new type of person or build any new type of skill or habit, you need discipline. The discipline that'll just sustain you. And I promise you, you might think that you're not a disciplined person. I never thought I would ever be a disciplined person, but now that I have started small and I've become a disciplined person over time, it's a big flex. And people over time will start to see you as a disciplined person. And I promise you, that's like one of the biggest compliments you can get. Just keep the consistency going. Keep the ball rolling. That's what we want with all of these habits. Just keep the ball rolling, as small as it is. Even if you have to do it, just do it. I promise you, our minds make up doing things way harder than it actually is when you do it. Start small. Reduce friction, add in cues, make your life easier to become the person you want to become in the future. The person who you already are, but you're just taking the small steps to get there. The next habit that I have that has really changed my life, and I live by this rule, I turn off all notifications for any social media, anything that's like a game or anything that's not emergency purposes on my phone. It is off. Like, I know this has gained popularity in the past like 5 years or so, but I remember in middle school and in high school, I've like grew up with strict parents and I was always paranoid about social media. So of course I had it secretly and I always had my notifications off. And it's just such a distraction to me. And ever since I've had them off forever, anytime, like I remember I tried to turn them on for a week and I was like, how do people do this? Like, it's so anxiety producing for me, if that makes sense. Like my phone constantly buzzing, and it just really it takes you out of any moment that you are in, because that's what they made the notifications for. The people who made these notifications want you to stop exactly what you're doing and check your phone. They've made them so addicting that it literally will stop you in your tracks on what you're doing and check your phone. So personally, I only have my notifications on for select contacts in my phone, or only for my calls and my messages and like some work emails if I have to. Other than that, my notifications are off, because personally, I think that it's just not worth my energy, and I believe that you need to protect your energy at all costs, especially in this world where everyone is fighting for your attention. Like, your attention is so valuable. Your time is so valuable, and that's what the notifications are trying to rob you from. And we are high achievers here. We are prioritizing ourselves and our growth here. We don't got time, we don't got energy to be wasting. So prioritize yourself. I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you want to try it for at least a week and test it out and see how your mental health is when that's the case. But overall, I just want you to conserve your energy, conserve your mental. Your mental is so important, because say you saw a text and it really messes up your day. You know, a text message, a notification can alter your mindset for the day. It could alter your energy. It could alter the way you perceive yourself. Next up is limit your scrolling on social media. So this goes hand in hand with what we just talked about the notifications. And I don't want to demonize social media, okay? Because if it wasn't for social media, there would be so many lost opportunities. Like, social media is an amazing thing, but like everything and we all know about social media and the toxic side of it and also the benefits of it. Social media itself isn't evil, because it's a neutral thing. It's not a living entity. So I just see it as a neutral thing. So the way I see it is, social media is free, right? But anything that is really free in this world, typically if something is free, then usually you are the product. Nothing's truly free is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, it's not free because you're trading your time, you're trading your energy, You're trading all this for social media, and your time is something you can never buy back. Why do you think that jobs pay you hourly? Because your time is so valuable. That's what I want you to get out of this. And that once you shift that in your mindset, you will truly start to really be grateful for the time that you have and use it strategically. So you can't be using your time up scrolling for hours, doom scrolling. What is that doing for you? What good is that doing for you? Honestly, when I start doom scrolling and I look on social media, personally, after, I feel like absolute crap, because I just constantly compare myself to what they have and what I don't have. So I just want you to really focus on yourself, focus on your growth. And yeah, social media is an amazing thing. Trust me, I love social media, but everything is great in moderation. So one little hack that I have, some micro habit and habit stacking I've adapted from Atomic Habits in this regard, is the only time I really allow myself to scroll on social media is if I'm doing cardio or if I'm walking, getting steps throughout the day. And it's just because I'm doing something I kind of don't want to do and attaching it to something I do want to do. And also a thing about social media, it's a drug. It can be a drug. It gives you that dopamine spike. And that's what these people who created social media, they know that that's how it works. They know it gives you a dopamine hit. Every scroll, every new video, every like, every follow is just a dopamine spike in your brain, which is when you eat really good food, when you eat sugar, that dopamine receptors go off in your mind. And that's why we go back to it, because it is addicting. Okay, you see what I'm getting at? So my challenge to you in this regard is to go in your settings and set a time limit on your social media app. And for the first week, if you want to challenge yourself, don't touch your phone for the first 2 minutes that you wake up. And then as you go on and start challenging yourself, do it next week for 2 more minutes and 2 more minutes, and keep adding it on. And it's up to you to challenge yourself. I can't make you do that, but it's just a little tip. The next habit is to plan your days. Plan your days the night before you go to bed is what I found works best for me, but we are all individuals. So if it works best for you straight when you wake up in the morning after breakfast, as long as you get into the habit of just getting it out of your mind. That's the goal here, is just to get it somewhere where you can see it, because our minds love to dramatize. Like you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then you just wake up in like this big gray cloud over your head, because you're like, oh, the last thing I want to do is all this stuff. But when you get it out where you can see it, I personally use Notion, but I've used paper. You can use whatever works for you. That's all that matters. There's no perfect way. Don't think that you need an expensive planner or this whole Notion template to get it done. You could do it in your notes app. Anything that works for you is all that matters, and anything that will keep you consistent to the habit is all that matters. You can start with just writing down the 3 main things you need to get done today. I personally love to map out literally everything, even things I know I'm gonna do that are just habitual. It just, the dopamine hit I get when I click off a box is just, I love it. There's nothing like a feeling of checking off all the boxes on your to-do list, but it can also get a little bit sticky if you overdo it with yourself, and then you'll start to resent doing your to-do list. So have grace for yourself and be realistic. Some days are not going to go to plan. That's just life. I used to freak out and think, oh my gosh, like, you're a failure. I can't believe you didn't stick to plan when things come up. You're not disciplined enough. No, that's just life, okay? Have grace for yourself and be realistic. But the point is just to get it out of your mind. The more you can get out of your mind, the more you will have clarity, and the more you will have peace of mind, the more you'll have time to think of ideas and just elevate your life. The next thing up, I know you're rolling your eyes at me because I know you've heard this before, but it's because it is so powerful, and that is practicing gratitude. I know it's so Like, I know you've heard it. I know you've heard it. And I didn't even want to put it in because it's so overused, but it's so great. That is why it's so much repeated, because gratitude can literally change your life. It can change your mindset. It can change your perspective, and it just starts the day off. Or if you're in a moment where you're just hating life, negative thoughts cannot exist. At the same time, gratitude is happening in your brain. So I start every day off with at least writing down 5 things that I'm grateful for. You could start with 1 thing that you're grateful for. And at first, when I first started this, I was like, okay, what am I grateful for? I could write down 2 things. But as you get into the habit of it, you can literally write a whole book. Like, I'm grateful you're watching this. I'm grateful you can see. There's so much to be grateful for, especially if you're watching this video. I'm assuming that you have some sort of technology. You have some sort of limbs or way of getting to click on this video, which is a privilege. You have hands, you have breath, you have vision, you have hearing, you have something to be grateful for. You have so much to be grateful for. And I swear, if someone took away your whole life right now, even the lowest of low have something to be grateful for. We all do. And once you realize how amazing your life is, you would probably fight back for it in some way, because there's something to be grateful for. And I've been in positions where it's so deep and dark and you feel like life just sucks and your circumstances just suck, but find little tiny things that you are grateful for. Even if it's someone else, it doesn't have to be connected to you. I'm just saying, once you shift that perspective, or at least fake it until you make it, it really revolutionizes your life and it revolutionizes your perspective. And it's that compound effect. All of these have the compound effect attached to them. That's what makes them so powerful. The next thing I stand by fully, and I have been doing this for about, I'd say, 4 years when it's been strategic, which is have a morning ritual. A morning ritual that works well for you and that is in alignment with the person you want to become, or something that's going to elevate you in some way that'll fill up your cup before the hecticness of the day starts. So typically I get up around 2 to 3 hours before I have to be anywhere or before I have to interact with other human beings, because when I wake up, I am not the happiest person. I'm just still half asleep, and I need to fill my cup before I'm able to be the best version of myself, going out into the world, going to work, talking to people. So find what works for you. A morning ritual is your morning routine, but also I know everyone already has their morning routine. As humans, we just adapt to our routines because our brains love habits, they love routines, and breaking out of it is a little bit difficult. So when you want to start something new, for example, if you are not the type of person to wake up and exercise, create less friction to do so and start with the 2-minute rule and have grace for yourself. So I would set up my workout clothes or lay out your yoga mat the night before, so when you wake up you have that cue. Cues are very important too, something that'll trigger you to remember why you want to do that, and also remember your why. I know that's very hard to say because when you wake up and you're nice and cozy in bed, the last thing you want to do is start something new. You have to truly want to change and become that person that you are visualizing. I suggest you do research on the type of person you intend to become and you visualize yourself to become. Best thing I did is, for example, I plan to be a business owner, so therefore we have the gift of the internet. Like, we can literally study the people we want to become and just replicate what they're doing, right? That's the way I see it. Life's a big act, so just act like the person you want to become. So just research and find what the person you want to become does in the morning, if you can find information like that, or find something similar and just kind of replicate that. And don't do it exactly, I'm saying. If you want to, go ahead, but mold it to what you like. Micro habit we have is keeping the promises you make to yourself. Plain and simple. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Some of you might be like, Jenica, Why is this important? The definition of self-confidence to me and what builds self-confidence is keeping the promises you make to yourself. You need to trust your own word. You need to trust that when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Because therefore, if you want to level up in life, you're going to have integrity, and you're going to have to keep the promises you make to others, but especially yourself. Like if you say you're going to walk for 2 minutes, walk for 2 minutes. It's that self-confidence is built on the promises you keep to yourself. And once you realize that, you are so powerful. Once you start building that muscle, you are so powerful. You will start to actually trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you're able to evolve yourself. You're able to control yourself, control your mind, and your mind not control you. You are able to grasp over your feelings. If you don't like, I don't feel like going to the gym every day. I don't feel like washing the dishes every day. But this is where the planning comes in. When I put down clean dishes, I know that checkbox is there waiting for me to check it off. And yeah, sometimes I do slip up and I'm like, leave it to the next day, but it diminishes the way I see myself. And when sticky situations come up and you promised you would do something and you don't do it, then that just reassures yourself into negative self-talk is what I found. It takes away your power. And that negative self-talk starts to come in like, oh, you're a quitter anyways. You're not smart anyways. Like you're not going anywhere because you can't even do X, Y, and Z. That's where it comes in because you haven't kept the promises you make to yourself. And once you start implementing this, I promise you will be untouchable, queen. Your self-confidence will go up. That Christian Dior lipstick or that TikTok shop one piece that you have in your car thinking that's going to bring you the confidence you're looking for and lacking deep down inside you, that ain't going to fix it. That is a band-aid, queen. The real self-confidence starts from within, and that starts from keeping the promises you make to yourself. Okay, we're getting to the end. This one is important, and it is to make the micro habit of constantly learning. You need to build the habit of loving to learn. And I know you're cringing. I would have cringed too a few years ago. Like, girl, what do you think this is? But I promise you, knowledge is truly power. Knowledge also brings you confidence. When you are smart and you have confidence, you're untouchable. First off, let's clear something up. You love to learn, you just don't know how you love to learn. Let's get that straight. And I don't like to blame, but I'm blaming the school system. The school system did not teach us how to love to learn, or they made us feel dumb for not having the same learning styles as someone who loves to read books or loves to write. Personally, I was never really a school girly. Elementary school to middle school, I just thought I was dumb. I just thought God didn't bless me with the brains, so I'm just gonna wing it and get through it. I thought like people were just born as smart, and which is true, I guess. I just thought that I was dumb, and that was the end all be all, and that's just how I was wired. But as I went out and learned on stuff I'm actually interested in and how I learned best, for example, I learned best through visuals, I learned best through videos, I learned best through doing and through experiencing, not through reading books and writing down. Like, I'll read a book here and there, but I do better when I do audiobooks or podcasts. So what I recommend you do is find what you are interested in. Anything. It could be literally anything you're interested in. If you're interested in gaming, if you're interested in Pokemon, if you're interested in weightlifting, in cooking, in anything, find what fills up you and fulfills you. I'm not saying to go to college or go to back to school or do any of that. If that's what you want to do, cool, sick. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop learning once you get out of school. There's so many endless resources that we have with the internet that we have that you will love. I promise you, when you find what you are actually interested in learning about. It's crazy. I promise you, you'll become a nerd. I promise you, once you find what you love to learn about. God. For example, I love to learn about business, all of that. I love to learn about money. Who doesn't want money, right? If you want more money, learn about how to make more money doing what you like. Look up YouTube videos and listen to podcasts. I'm a podcast girly. Like when I'm in traffic, I'm learning something because I'm listening to a podcast. And I'm not saying to take notes, read books. I'm saying to find what you love to learn about and just do that every day. Do that somehow every day. Implement it in your day. If you're cleaning, find a podcast something that you're interested about learning more about and just put it on. You're learning. Like you're becoming smarter. Isn't that sick? Who doesn't want to become smarter? I promise you, your brain and you and yourself are your biggest investments in this life. You are stuck with yourself. And once you realize that and leverage that and take advantage of that, you are set. You're golden. And the last micro habit I have for you is fill up yourself with faith daily. And hold up before you click off and think I'm going to be getting all holy high roller with you. I don't judge. I'm not saying like just strictly religion faith wise. Faith is basically the trust in someone or something other than you. So filling up your faith can be doing these small habits every day. But I suggest that you do some research on things that are outside of you. Personally, I think that like this world is so huge and there has to be something bigger than us, like the universe, for example, energy, like the ether, science, anything, or your religion. Fill up yourself with your religion. Personally, I believe in God and I try and fill myself up with sermons every morning. I listen to Christian music. I listen to positive things. A couple years ago, I was not religious at all. So I know that's why I'm urging you not to click off, because I would have been like, girl, okay, bye. But before, I was very into my religion and I found God truly and found what I believed in through religion. I knew there was a higher power of some sort, and I was really into the universe and energy, and I would start my days off with high vibrational music. Go on Spotify and look for high vibrational music, because what we listen to really affects us. And when you fill yourself up with positivity and faith, or for example, you don't have to listen to religious sermons or read your Bible. That's what fills me up, but find what fills up you. If it's listening to motivational videos, I used to do that before I was religious as well. Read self-help books and stuff like that. But just find faith in something outside of you. Truly, God has saved my life, but that's my biggest pet peeve, honestly. And I know I'm going to grow in different regards in the future, but I don't like when people would try and force religion on me. It just made me want to get further from it. So I will never shame anyone who's not religious. I know that people will find what they believe in, and I'm not saying what I believe in is the end all be all, because this world is so big. There's like no divine truth to us all. I think all religions are so beautiful and it's connected to God or a higher power, but it just gives us trust in the all-loving God that created us. And that's what will fulfill you. So start off your day with prayer, with meditation, with listening to motivational, high vibrational things you can find on YouTube, TED Talks, or motivational videos or sermons. Just make it a habit. I suggest starting your day with it in some regard, or when you're feeling down and those negative thoughts start to creep into your mind. That's when I'll put on my Christian music, or that's when I'll put on a sermon or a motivational speech, or I'll pray. Starting the day off with prayer has ultimately really changed my life, and that's between me and God. But I know we all have our different ways of connecting with the inner spirit of our soul. So whatever fills your cup, do it. But just make it a habit to connect back to your soul, because we are body, mind, and soul at the end of the day. You need to fulfill all of those to truly be full and have a full cup before you can really pour into others and be the best version of yourself and to grow grow into the better version of yourself and to elevate yourself to becoming the person you want to become in the future, the best version of yourself. I'm not saying there's like an ultimate best version of yourself, but just to grow in life. As humans, we crave fulfillment, we crave growth, and when we're not doing any of that, you're either just growing or dying in this world. So let's get the ball rolling and stay connected to the source that you believe brought you here, and that connects back to all of these, and it's just gratitude. It's just really finding what fulfills you inside your soul, inside your spirit. For you will find your faith. And those were the micro habits that have changed and revolutionized my life. And I hope that you gained some sort of knowledge or wisdom or clarity or value in this somewhere. If you stuck to the end, you truly have my heart, and I'm sending you all positivity and love and energy. And I pray for your abundance, and I pray for the strength that you will have to get through to creating these habits and becoming the best version of you. So if I provided you value in any way, please leave a like below, subscribe. I intend to make more content like this. Tell me your thoughts in the comments or ideas on anything. I absolutely love talking to anyone in the comments. The fact that people actually see this stuff is crazy. Usually I just expect no one to see it. So if you see this and you resonate, comment down below. Let's be friends. If you have any podcasts to share, if you have any music to share, link it down below. We could have a conversation. But anyways, I'm always sending you all love, all positivity, all blessings. And until the next video, I will see you soon.